Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Make America Think Again with Vaughn or Car Conversations, depending upon where you have joined me today, whether you're watching me here on YouTube or you can just hear my voice via podcast. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for sharing the videos as well. I told you I'm trying to hit a certain number by the end of the month. So please continue to share the videos and invite folks over to the YouTube page. Again, I keep going back and forth. It's a timing thing, y'all. And last week, life was lifing. So I couldn't even get to any of this last week. But I'm trying to add some lives in. I'm trying to add some lives in so we can have a true conversation. All right, so let's talk about last week. What happened last week? A lot of shit happened last week, but let's start off with Letitia James and John Bolton. So Letitia James, John Bolton basically got indicted by the DOJ. The DOJ is trying to go after Letitia James for, they're saying, alleging mortgage fraud. And with John Bolton, they're trying to go after him, saying that he shared confidential information with via an open line, via email, and apparently with his wife and his daughter. Okay, so Letitia James, the whole mortgage fraud situation, she bought a second property. She was allowing family members to live in that home, and they are saying that the way she went about getting the mortgage or filling out those mortgage documents is where there is, something was broken. Some law was broken. But we have seen them go after people. Another Black woman specifically, actually another Black woman, and then prior to this administration, is it Maryland? I think she's in Maryland. Marilyn Mosby. I believe her first name is Marilyn as well. Marilyn Mosby. She was the Attorney General at that time, and she was responsible for locking up police officers, and then they went after her. And apparently mortgage fraud is the thing that they want to use with Black women right now. Apparently that's the thing. So John Bolton, which is a bunch of BS, and Letitia's going to get off, but you got to go through the whole process. They just want to make you miserable. That's their goal, is to make everybody miserable. Russell Vogt has even said this. Vogt, whatever his last name is. He said this. He just wants to make the middle class just, miserable, crazy. Wants to, send us through some trauma. So John Bolton was also arraigned. Well, he was also indicted. And his specifically, so notes that he took while he was working in the first Felon 47 administration, notes that he took, apparently he used for his book. And the DOJ is alleging that this is confidential information that showed up in his book, but also was shared on an open or an unsecured line via email with his daughter and his wife. So that's what they're alleging in regards to John Bolton. It is suspected that they're going to go after Adam Schiff next. We shall see. But again, I want you to just keep in mind what this is really about, because like I said, Letitia James is probably going to get off. John Bolton, he's a privileged white male over 50. He's probably going to get off. So the whole thing, the whole reason behind this, in my personal opinion, is for us, general public, to see, oh my gosh, if they can go after these high figures that work in the government or work for the government or have worked for the government, then they can go after me. So again, going back to that notion, I did a whole episode on, they want to scare us into submission. They're using these people to do the same thing. Now, of course, Felon 47 has personal vendettas against these people. So there's that caveat, there's that as well. But the big show of it is for all Americans, for the general public. All right, so another thing that happened last week, the, the next generation of the GOP or MAGA, some of their communications online or offline or on an app, WhatsApp or Signal, don't know exactly where they were communicating, was shared, was revealed to the public through a media source. And they were saying, using very derogatory terms towards Black people, towards women. They were joking about rape. They were doing the most. Jewish people, Black people, calling us monkeys, talking about the whole old racist trope about watermelon, etc. Just the tired, boring, same shit. Okay. So their communication was exposed. And a key point that I would like to note here is that J.D. Vance, unfortunately, the vice president, J.D. Vance, he refused to denounce or condemn these people and tried to brush it off as, oh, like a boys will be boys. They're just kids. These individuals are, the age range was from 18 to in their 40s. So some just a couple of years younger than JD Vance. And then also, JD Vance is married to a woman of color. He has mixed race children, but he can't stand up against people being racist. So the key thing to note here is if JD Vance isn't even willing to stand up in the face of racism for his wife and for his own children, dear MAGA people, do not expect him to do it for you. Do not expect that. Same thing with a Ted Cruz or Rafael Cruz, his actual name. His for Felon 47 has dogged his wife, has just dragged him for filth, and he still kisses this man's ass. So anyone like that, how can you put any I don't know, security or weight behind the fact that they would possibly stand up for you? Well, now he didn't throw his wife under the bus, but I'm sorry, if you're joking about people of color, and I'm married to a person of color, or I am a person of color, or I have children, biracial children who are children of color, you damn skippy, I'm gonna have something to say. But JD Vance, nothing to say, nothing whatsoever. Also happened this week, $40 billion, $40 billion. This administration has guaranteed to Argentina if their current president is reelected. $40 billion. Now, I already did an episode in regards to America being Israel's bitch. Are we about to become Argentina's bitch too? Because our money is going everywhere other than to the American people. Again, I ask you, what happened to America first? That's 40 billion to Argentina. We pay for basically socialism in Israel. They have free college. They can go to college on our dime, on our tax dollars. They have free healthcare. They have universal healthcare in Israel. Also, Argentina has universal healthcare. But you have Americans out here just praying that they don't lose their healthcare by the end of the year, or their premiums don't go sky high because of this big BS bill that was passed in Congress. So we pay for Israel, we put them through school, we pay for their health care. Now we're sending 40 billion to Argentina. And then Qatar, because Felon 47 accepted this plane, now they're going to allow Qatar to come in and build a base, a military base in Idaho. How y'all feeling in Idaho? Very white and probably MAGA Idaho. How do y'all feel about that? Qatar is going to come in and build this base on American soil. And, you know, for years, every time you bring up anything that is remotely about taking care of masses of people, whether you're talking about universal pre-K, universal health care, I don't know, food stamps, all these things, Republicans would run around with like their hair on fire. This is socialism. They just try to make socialism into a boogeyman. Taking care of everyone is the big bad wolf, is the boogeyman. But we pay for it for other countries. Also in Israel, if you didn't know, when a woman gets pregnant in Israel, she's given a check. She's given a check. And then after that baby's born, that child gets a check every month from the government. Where does that money come from? America, your tax dollars. Now, right now in America, what's that weirdo's name? Dr. Oz just recently was talking about, yeah, our baby quota is low. we're unbabied. I forgot the stupid ass term that he used, but our baby quota is low here in America. Well, you know what? Maybe if you offered up women, some women, you know, hey, you get pregnant, you get a check. And then after you have that baby, every month we give you a check. Maybe if Americans were receiving what we send to Israel, maybe we wouldn't have such a low birth rate. But you have Gen Z and millennials struggling right now. So the furthest thing from their minds is having a baby. Do you know on average today in America, it costs $250,000 just to raise a child? And I'm not even talking about college. I'm talking 0 to 18. $250,000. And this government isn't going to help you. They don't care about after the baby's born. But Israel gets it. They get our tax dollars to pay for their kids, their children. So again, I'm asking you, what happened to America first? Where is America in all this? I hear Argentina, I hear Israel. Where's America in this? All right, moving right along. Did y'all know? Maybe you missed it because I didn't see it on mainstream media, but maybe you missed it as well. Alaska, there was a typhoon that hit Alaska. And you know what? We didn't hear about it on mainstream media, but guess who else I never heard talk about it? Felon 47. I have not heard one peep from him about Alaska. And these are Americans. These are Americans, just like Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans are Americans. But for some reason, y'all don't seem to know that they're Americans. So yes, a typhoon hit Alaska on October 11th. People were just floating around in their houses. It is projected that most of the folks won't be able to return to their homes for it at minimum 18 months. Y'all know FEMA's been gutted. The puppy killer, you got to call her up anytime that you need any money. So I don't even know if she's released any money to Alaska, but they're projecting 18 months for evacuees to be able to come back. And people are still missing. I think 20 people are still missing. And no big announcement, no peep, no let's pray for Alaska, none of that. We didn't hear any of that. And again, these are Americans. Where is the America first? I ask you once again. So let's talk about the government shutdown. Let's talk about the Republican government shutdown. Did y'all know? Did y'all hear that this administration is going to make sure that the icy folks get paid throughout the Republican shutdown? But guess who won't be getting paid? The people who prevent planes from falling out of the sky, they're not going to get a check. But the kidnappers, the mass kidnappers in this country are going to get a check. They're going to continue to get paid throughout for however long that this Republican government shutdown lasts. We can pay the kidnappers, but the people who are going to be responsible for all this holiday travel that's about to happen, they're not going to get a check. They're not going to get paid. Y'all make it make sense. Y'all tell me how that makes sense. Y'all tell me if they have really thought this thing through. And also, one other thing I want to say about this while I'm on it, about the icy folks. Dear Black and brown people, whomever that you've signed up for this craziness, listen to me and hear me clearly. There will be no coming back after this. There will be no cookouts for you. There will be no family reunions for you. So I suggest that you hold on to your bonuses and get your exit plans together, because there will be no going back to normal after we know that you were out here snatching people up off the streets. And I mean that. Every single one of you that I know about, I will make sure that everyone knows what you did, if they don't know already. So yeah, they're going to pay the mass kidnappers, but no money for the air traffic controllers that are responsible for keeping planes from falling out of the sky right before holiday travel. This administration is doing that. And lastly, I want to say to you in this episode, because I don't want to make it too long, Antifa. Just so everyone understands and knows, Antifa is a word that means anti-fascist. There's no formal organization. There are no meetings. There's no president. There are no dues. There are no bylaws. There is no group, Antifa. So if you are against fascism, guess what? You are Antifa. We are all Antifa. All of us who are against fascism and all this bullshit that we're seeing happening in our country right now, we're all Antifa. So this administration likes to, pick up on names and make, oh, the caravans are coming, oh, the caravans are coming, Antifa, Antifa. They want to create a boogeyman all the time. The caravans never came, never came. Cory Booker did not sell low-income housing in my neighborhood. All the raping and pillaging and rioting and all the things that they warned you, they have been screaming since 2015 was going to happen. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. None of that shit happened. So listen to me when I tell you, there is no Antifa. There's no Antifa organization. If you are against fascism, you are Antifa. It's a word. It's not a boogeyman. It's not a big scary thing. There are no people that belong to it. Anti-fascism, that's it. No dues, no bylaws, no members, no president, no organization. Anti-fascism. One word, that's it.